But we found that as the marketplace is changing, now we have digital and data, it's the era of it's a new world out there. Our leadership models need to align and transform along with the changes that are happening around us, right? Traditional models are being broken down, but if I could define one thing where I see us heading towards, and there's one word, and that's balance. A balance of thinking, a balance of perspectives, experiences, and backgrounds that collectively, with a unified voice of leadership, allows us to align with the new realities of today. So you think about it. If you surround yourself with someone like you, who thinks like you, acts like you, right? What do you get? You get you. Don't take it personal, but that's probably not good enough in today's world. But the power of one, what do I mean by that? So we have a client organization who had just gone through some significant crisis, constant headwinds. I went over to meet with the CEO about 3 weeks ago, sat in his office. I said, you know, Jim, is there anything that surprised you? Or what was the biggest surprise going through this crisis? And he said, you know, Beck, I'll tell you the one thing that really did surprise me. When we were in dire need and weren't sure which way to turn, I saw people coming out of the woodwork. In fact, people I didn't know at all levels of the organization, volunteering to serve on different projects or to work in a different area of the enterprise where we really were in deep need trouble. I saw people coming up with ideas and solutions. And most importantly, I saw not necessarily all the executives in our organization, the people who do the core of the work, reached out across their functions, what we sometimes call silos, and came together voluntarily to tap into the best of all the great ideas, to come up with different and disruptive ways of navigating through this great change of crisis. And you know, at the end of the day, we got through it. We probably wouldn't have gotten through it unless people didn't realize that it was all of us together and getting out of our day-to-day, getting out of our comfort zones and stepping into areas that we never thought we would be working in and taking the lead themselves, but collectively working more together. And so I began to have, he said, a different appreciation for this whole thing around diversity and inclusion. I thought it was a nice thing to do. We want to include people, we want to be nice. But I realized, in fact, if you look at the gender piece, this isn't a gender business case, this is a human business case. So I said, well, what have you learned from this? And he said, you know what, one thing I will tell you is that when I look for future leaders of this organization, I look for one thing, and that is their ability to have the courage to step out and seek different pathways and opportunities to really be purposeful and bring value to the organization. But just as important, I'm going to look for leaders who are willing to and desire and seek out other people who are not like them to tap into all the greatest ideas and to learn from one another, to become that collected team of leaders, as opposed to working and being all about me versus we. All companies have diversity, but if we don't learn how to tap into that and have that inclusive mindset, it doesn't really mean as much. That's just one example of what we call the power of one.